Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Juan Solo here with ASQD Gaming, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in today for another Ghost Recon Wildlands video. In today's video, we're actually going to be going over all of these sniper rifle scopes that are scattered throughout the open world of Ghost Recon Wildlands. So we're going to be going over their stats, their location, their zoom, what kind of zoom ratios they have, and all that good stuff. And then I'll give you visuals of each one so you guys will know what they are. So the first one is the Acog scope, which this one is the first sniper scope that you actually start the game with. So once you find your first sniper rifle, it will come pre-equipped with this sniper scope. It's not a bad scope, but according to the stats, it has a 4x zoom, which I don't believe this is a 4x zoom. It just doesn't seem like this zooms in very much. But it's not a bad scope, but it's not the best one in the game, obviously. It's actually the worst one. Next, we have the 2.5 to 3.5 zoom scope, which this is the digital scope. And this one is actually a lot better than the Acog scope because you can adjust the variability of the zoom. And this one is located in Monte Puncho, and if you basically go up to the top of this mountain right here, there's an airport runway up here where you have to steal a plane for the rebels. And if you go all the way down to the bottom of the runway, all the way up against the sandbags here, it is sitting up on this crate here. And this scope is, like I said, it's much better than the Acog scope. It allows you to adjust the zoom from a 2.5 to a 3.5, and it's not bad. It's visually it's appealing. It's a better scope, and this one is actually a good scope to start the game with if you don't go right for the the high-powered scopes. So next we have the PKS-07. This is a 4.5 times scope, and this is actually the scope that I used for the majority of the game before I actually went looking for attachments and stuff like that. I played quite a bit before I actually got the high-powered scope. And this one is San Mateo. It's at the northern end of San Mateo at this checkpoint, this gas station checkpoint here. And it's in the right guard shack right here. It's up on top of this shelf here. And this one, it's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It has a 4.5 times zoom scope. And it works out very, very well if you don't want to have to go track down the high-powered scope. But if you're actually going out and looking for scopes, I would just go for the high-powered one. But this one is overall, it's a very good scope without having to go track down, obviously, the 6 times zoomed scope. So next, we have the POSP scope. This is a 4 to 5 times zoom scope. And this one is also a very good scope. It's obviously, like I said, it's not quite the top tier, but it's at the very southern end of the Connie, the desert region. It's down here at this checkpoint, this little gas station checkpoint down here. And it's right by the little guard shack, the little building here, whatever this is, sitting right up on this concrete block here. And this one, it's not bad. With the fact that it has a good zoom, but around it, with the black and all that stuff, it just kind of, I don't know. It's not a bad scope, though. It's a pretty good scope with a 4.5 to 5.5 times zoom. And overall, it's one of the second best scopes in the game. Next, we have the 4.5 to 5 times zoom scope, which this is the TARS 101 scope. And this is actually the one that you find off of most of the enemies that you kill that have sniper rifles. And it's in the Pucara region, and it's basically right up on top of this mountain here. You can actually see the big cathedral right across the valley there, and you go into this little building here. You do have to kick down the door to get into this building, and there are quite a few guards up here. And this one, like I said, this one's a pretty decent scope too. Actually, you can see at really long ranges, though. It does kind of blur the scope or whatever, so you can't really zoom out there that far. But overall, it's not a bad scope. Next, we have the G28 scope, which this is a 5 times zoom scope, and also it has a red dot sight attached to the top, and you can flick between the two. So if you're basically in a situation where you want to shoot long range and then you have somebody run up on you, you can switch over to the red dot. And this one is in Inca Camina, down by the archaeological site. And there's actually quite a few guards here, Unidad guards, I believe, and some cartel guards. But it's in this little back building right here up on top of the files here, of the file cabinet. And this scope, it's a very powerful scope, and just the flexibility to be able to switch between the actual, the full zoom scope and then flip it up to the red dot. Depending on whatever situation you're in, this actually is a very versatile scope. And overall, it's a really fun one to use, especially when you're in tight quarters. You can snipe and be up close. Next, last but not least, we have the T5XI Tactical. This is the highest powered scope in the game currently. It is a 6 times zoom scope, and this is also up in the Connie, the desert region up here at this mine. And it actually took me a second to find this one because I actually didn't find the intel to find it. But if you go to the very north end of the mine, up in these shipping containers here, it's in this open shipping container. You go in there and you have the highest powered scope in the game. I would strongly recommend that you guys use this one because primarily if you're going to be sniping at long distances, this scope is going to be the best for that situation. But overall, it's all these sniper scopes, you know, depending on how you use them, you can utilize every single one of them. But preferably I use the tactical, which is the 6x zoom scope for all the situations, just because normally if I'm sniping, it's going to be at extreme distances, you know, where I can't accurately put assault rifles, you know, downrange at, you know, 500-600 meters. I would rather just, you know, shoot a sniper scope out there. But that is pretty much all for the video, guys. If you guys enjoyed it and you guys found it helpful, leave a like on the video. It would be much appreciated. Also, if you guys are new around here, make sure to subscribe for the best Ghost Recon Wildlands content on YouTube. I would be much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.